Okay, so today we're going to be going over ratios. So the first question is about simplifying a ratio. So the question is, simplify the ratio 12 to 16. So with ratios, you can think of them like fractions. So with fractions, whatever you do to the top, you must also do to the bottom. And with ratios, whatever you do to the left, you must also do to the right. So the first thing you'd do is try and think of the highest common factor. So for 12 and 16, that is 4. So you would divide each side by 4. So 12 divided by 4 is 3. 16 divided by 4 is 4. And we get 3 to 4. And looking at that, I know there are no more factors that go into 3 and 4. So therefore, the final answer is 3 to 4. Or another way to have done that question would be to keep dividing by 2 until you can no longer divide by 2. But say you have a much bigger number, that is going to take you a very long time to do that. So it is best to find the highest common factor as soon as possible. So looking at this question, I know that for these numbers, the highest common factor is 15, but if you don't know that, you can also use 5. So if we divide each side by 5, we get 9, 12, and 15. But looking at that, I know that that is not the final answer because we can divide each number by 3. So if we divide each bit by 3, we get 3, 4, and 5. Now looking at that, I know we cannot simplify anymore. So that is the final answer. Okay, so I'm now going to be going over sharing amounts in ratios. So we've got share 72 in the ratio 2 to 7. So we know that £72 is equal to 2 plus 7 parts as we add the ratios together. So £72 is equal to 9 parts. So we want to work out what 1 part is equal to. So if we divide 72 by 9, we get 8. So 1 part is equal to £8. But the answer is share the ratio in 2 to 7. So you'd get £16 to £56. So what you would do is you multiply, so we know that 1 part is equal to £8, so we'd multiply the 2 parts by £8 to get £16 and multiply the 7 parts by £8 to get £56. So the final answer is £16 to £56. So the next question is divide 180 sweets in the ratio 3 to 2 to 1. So first of all, let's work out the total number of parts. So that's 3 plus 2 plus 1, and that is equal to 6. So we know that there are 6 parts, so we know 180 sweets is equal to 6 parts. So now you want to work out how much is 1 part. So we'll divide each side by 6. So 180 divided by 6 is 30, because 6 goes into 18 3 times and then 0 goes into 0 0 times. So 30 sweets is equal to 1 part. And we need to do it in the ratio of 3 to 2 to 1. So let's multiply the 30 by 3 to get 90, 30 by 2 to get 60, and the 30 by 1 to get 30. So a good way to check this is by adding all the parts together. So 90 plus 60, that's 150, plus the 30, that's 180, and that is the total number of sweets. So therefore, we know the answer is most likely going to be correct, and is. So that is a good way of how to check your answer in the exams. Okay, so next question. A recipe uses flour and sugar in the ratio 5 to 3. If you use 600 grams of flour, how much sugar do you need? So, we're told that there are 600 grams of flour. So the 600 grams is equal to the amount of parts of flour. And the flour is on the left-hand side, so we use the number that is on the left-hand side of the ratio, which is 5. So the 600 grams is equal to 5 parts. But we want to work out how much 1 part is equal to. So we'll divide each side by 5, and 600 divided by 5 is 120. So 1 part is equal to 120 grams. But if we look back at the question, we want to know how much sugar do we need. So if you're in the exam, I would underline this after reading the question. So, we know that 120 grams is 1 part, and we know that the sugar is 3 parts, as sugar is on the right-hand side, so it would be the ratio on the right-hand side, which is 3. So we want to work out what 3 parts is equal to. So that would be 120 multiplied by 3, and that would be 360 grams. So 360 grams is equal to 3 parts, and if we look back at the question, we want to answer how much sugar do we need, so the answer would be 360 grams. Okay, so next question. 2 students share some money in the ratio 4:5. The second student gets 45. How much money did they have altogether? So, £45 is going to be equal to the amount of parts the second student gets, and the second student is on the right, so that would be 5. So 45 is equal to 5 parts. So let's work out what 1 part is equal to. So if we divide 45 by 5, then that is 9. So 1 part is equal to £9. But if we look back at the question, we want to know how much money did they have altogether. So let's work out how much student 1 gets. So they had 4 parts. So a 4 parts is going to be equal to 9 multiplied by 4, which is 36. So the first student got £36. But we want to work out how much money they had altogether. So to do this, we'll add up the 36 and the 45. So 36 plus 45. So 6 plus 5, that is 11. So we'll carry the 1. The 3 plus the 4 is 7. Add the 1, that is 8. So that is 81. So altogether, they have £81. So that would be the final answer. Another way to do this, after you have worked out that 1 part is equal to £9, would be to add the 2 sides of the ratios together to get 9 parts. So you'd multiply each side by 9 to get 9 parts is equal to £81. Therefore, they have £81 altogether. So as you can see, the first way we get £81 and the second way we get £81. So they are both acceptable methods. And you could also do the second way to check your first answer, especially if you're in the non-calculator exam.